Lexus in India may seem like an inconspicuous brand. Well, that is until you take a look at the sheer number of models, especially SUVs and crossovers that they are currently selling. I mean, there's the RX and the LX at the highest end spectrum, and then there's the entry-level UX which will soon make its way to the showrooms. Somewhere in the middle of their lineup, you'll find this car, the NX, which in my opinion represents a sweet spot in the luxury crossover space. I mean, it's the right size, it's not absurdly priced, and best of all, it's a hybrid, which means it's very efficient at city speeds. So that's one of the things that we really like about the new Lexus NX 350h. And in this video, we'll give you 4 more reasons to consider buying it, and 2 reasons which might not work in your favor if you're looking for a luxury crossover. My name is Sagar, and you're watching CarWale. If you are someone who prefers to be unassuming and keep things on the down low, then you would definitely be better off with a Mercedes GLC or an Audi Q5. Because the NX makes no bones about being anything other than a Lexus, and if you have seen all their recent designs, you know what I'm talking about. The NX is in your face the moment you lay your eyes on it, and it has all your attention as you go around it. It announces its arrival with the trademark Lexus spindle grille, sharp creases and angular shapes for the bumper and the headlight housing. The headlight itself looks like it has been carved using a katana. Things are more or less the same in profile. Here you'll find even more angles and sharp lines running across the doors and around the waistline. What truly stands out here are these flared wheel arches and the massive 20-inch alloy wheels which add to the powerful stance. All in all, the new NX has road presence in abundance, and if you can spec yours in one of the funky colors like we have here, it only amplifies its eye-catching design. Step inside the NX and you'll get a strong sense that Lexus is the kind of brand that likes to do things differently. I mean, the cabin ambience and design is unlike anything else in this segment. It's rich, it's flamboyant, and it doesn't seem like it's restrained by the norms that the Germans have fashioned. Having said that, I will admit that this cabin looks busy and all the controls are not exactly where you expect them to be. Firstly, there are no moving door handles, and what you get instead is an electronic latch on every door that you can push to open the door. It's the same on the outside, where you'll find static door handles with a switch on the inner side. The steering mounted controls are also not exactly conventional because they are touch sensitive, although what's really cool is that whatever command you feed into the system also shows up on the large heads-up display. We have seen some amazing fuel efficiency figures with the NX in the past, and this new model is no different. In fact, it did even better during our fuel efficiency runs and managed to return 15.67 kmpl in the city and 14.82 kmpl on the highway. That rounds up to an overall figure of 15.45 kmpl, which is extremely commendable for a large crossover that's predominantly powered by a petrol engine. The NX 300h is powered by a 2.5-litre petrol engine that produces 187 horsepower and 235 Nm of torque. But then, it also gets 2 electric motors producing in excess of 170 bhp, one over at the front axle and the other one at the rear. The combined output then is well over 400 bhp and 600 Nm of torque, but it's not as simple as it sounds. In fact, the NX 350h is not a plug-in hybrid with a large battery, but a self-charging one. Let me explain. The front wheels are powered by the petrol engine and one of the electric motors, whereas the rear axle is connected to the other electric motor, which means the NX is essentially an all-wheel drive vehicle. And at city speeds, say up to 30-40 km per hour, the NX can be driven purely on the EV mode. But then again, because the lithium-ion battery is so small, the electric only range is less than 5 kilometers. At this point, the petrol engine will not only power the front wheels but will also charge up the battery along with the regen braking. And if you go above part throttle or simply mash the pedal, the NX will summon both the electric motors and the petrol engine for maximum acceleration. There's a dedicated EV mode in the NX which can be used to cover 2 to 3 kilometers before the battery runs out of juice. So what's the point of having such a limited electric only range?
The NX is perfect for bumper to bumper traffic because it can be driven quietly and in pure EV mode, and for times when the road clears up a bit, it will fire up the petrol engine which will then charge up the battery so that you don't burn any fuel when you approach bumper to bumper traffic again. This is also the reason why we got a higher city fuel economy figure than what we got on the highway during our fuel economy runs.
Now, as you would expect, the NX is dead silent at slow speeds. In EV mode, you could even sneak up on other drivers, it's that silent. And with the petrol and electric motors working together, performance overall is strong and the NX never feels short of punch. At Rs 85 lakhs on road for this top spec F Sport version, the Lexus NX is on the pricey side, especially when compared to cars like the BMW X1 M Sport and the Audi Q5. Sure, it gets adaptive suspension and bigger fancy looking alloys, but it's still a tough sell considering the limited dealer network that Lexus India currently has. The NX may look like $1 million and it sure grabs eyeballs even in the company of more expensive cars, but unfortunately, it doesn't drive as sharp as it looks. The hybrid drivetrain is extremely smooth and linear, but that's about it. It's not exciting, and also dynamically, the NX lacks the agility and the eagerness of something like the X3 when you push it through the corners.
What also dials down the fun quotient is the laid-back nature of the CVT and the limited feedback that you get from the steering. The NX definitely feels at its happiest when it's driven without absolute brute force.
So there you have it, the new Lexus NX 350h with its pros and cons. It's phenomenal to look at, very comfortable and surprisingly efficient.
It's basically everything we have come to expect from a modern Lexus, which also means it's not the most rewarding thing behind the wheel, nor is it the most reasonably priced. But if you're looking for a standout crossover and if your usage is mostly within city limits, the new NX should be on top of your list.
That's it from us for this video. Please consider subscribing to our channel if you like what you see and press the bell icon to stay notified for more such luxury car content.